Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the news postcard on TayNinhTV with some last events now arriving as well as nationwide. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, on the morning of May the 24th at the National Funeral House number 5 of Dang Thanh Tong of Hanoi, the Party Central Committee, the National Assembly, the President, the government, the Central Committee of the Vietnam Phalang Front, and the family solemnly held a state funeral ceremony for Mr. Trần Đức Lương, former member of Police Bureau, former President of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. From the early morning, the delegations of the party, the state, and the government, the National Assembly, the Vietnam Phalang Front, officers and soldiers of the armed forces, along with a large number of officers, party members, and the people from all walks of life were present at the funeral house to attend the state funeral ceremony for the former President Trần Đức Lương, expressing the gratitude, respect, and condolences to the head of the state who devoted his entire life to the revolutionary cause of the party and the Vietnamese people. At the same time, the funeral of former President Trần Đức Lương was also solemnly held at Thống Nhất Hall in Ho Chi Minh City and the hall of T50 of Quảng Ngãi Province Military Command, the hometown of Mr. Trần Đức Lương. We move to other news. On the morning of May the 24th, continuing the night section, the National Assembly listened to the submission and the examination report on the draft law on extradition and the draft law on transfer of persons serving the prison sentences. Before the section, the National Assembly also observed a minute of silence to commemorate the former President Trần Đức Lương. One of the new points of the draft law on extradition is the regulation on procedures for arresting of people in emergency cases for extradition. Accordingly, in cases where a foreign country requests Vietnam to arrest the people in emergency cases for extradition according to the provisions of internal treaties to which Vietnam and that country are members, it shall be implemented according to the provisions of Article 113 of the Criminal Procedure Code if the requesting country provides sufficient information and comments to fully implementing the contents as prescribed. The draft law also adds a number of cases where extradition must be refused, such as the person request for extradition is likely to be prosecuted or tortured in the country requesting extradition. The act of the person requested for extradition is not a crime under the provisions of the Penal Code, as the cases where extradition can be refused, including the crimes requested for extradition related to politics or the military. And the Police Bureau and the Secretariat of Justice conclusion number 155 on a number of key tasks that need to be focused on in the arrangement of the apparatus and administrative units from the now until June the 30th of 2025. Accordingly, the Police Bureau and the Secretariat require the party committees, party organization, and functional associates to focus on comprehensively leading and directing the drafting of documents, preparing for the conferences at the provincial and communal levels at affiliated party committees in places of mergers and consolidation, developing a project to organize the party, the government, and the mass organizations, correctly implementing the direction on the arrangement and assignment of personnel at the provincial and communal levels, pay special attention to the local socio-economic development, ensuring the successful implementation of the several targets. Actively listen to, absorb, and promptly respond to the responsible participation of the organizations and individuals. Review, carefully assess the impact, and effectively implement the policies and the regime for the courts, civil servants, public employees, and the workers affected by the arrangement, especially for the ethnic minorities and the people following religions. Along with that, continue to strengthen information and propaganda to create the consensus among the courts, civil servants, public employees, and party members and the people. Proactively provide official information to gather public opinion. Promote the foreign information so that the partners can feel secure in operating and investing in Vietnam. And ladies and gentlemen, from the early days of many difficulties and shortages up to now, after half a century of formation and development, KK Prison under the Police Department of Prison Management, compulsory education facilities, and reformatory school under Ministry of Public Security has constantly innovated, improved the quality of professional work, and built a human and benevolent detention environment. Here, thousands of prisoners have returned after completing their sentences, reintegrated well into the community, and gradually rebuilt their lives and become useful people for society. KK prison was established on May 26 of 1975 after the liberation of the South and the reunification of the country. And the KK prison is stationed in Thanh Bình Commune of Thanh Bình District, Tây Ninh Province. In the conversation with us, Colonel Đặng Văn Ước, former warden of KK prison, said that in the early stages of this establishment, the unit faced numerous difficulties from the inadequate facilities allowed number of prisoners to the tense situation at the southwestern border, especially the incursions of the Pol Pot groups and domestic reactionary groups. However, the officials and soldiers always steadfastly held their ground, proactively coordinating with the local forces to ensure the absolute safety for the prison. The first official teams consisted only 8 officials, of which 3 were commanders and the rest were recruits. And it was not until June of 20th of 1975 that 20 soldiers were reinforced to concentrate on the working in the prison. And during that period, it was extremely difficult because there was no experience in managing the re-education center. And secondly, the facilities and lives of the officers and soldiers as well as the prisoners were extremely difficult. And up to now, the facilities of KK prison have been continuously invested in modernity, including the 3 subcoms and the central command area, serving the detention of more than 6,000 prisoners. And the current force of officers and soldiers is about 309 people, many times higher than the initial term. KK prison always put the education, reform, and implementation of human policies for the prisoner first, aiming at the goal of reintegrating into the community. And the prison organized many evaluation movements for the reforming cultural and legal classes, literacy, sports, and arts. KK prison has collaborated with a vocational school, opening for 19 vocational training classes such as chair weaving, baseball, serving balls, etc., with 75% of prisoners participating in labor and the work served. The prison fully complies with the detention policies and takes care of the materials and spread to life medical examination and treatment, organize visits, maintains the Golden Heart Funds to support the prisoners in difficulty, and many human activities such as direct dialogue, family conferences, especially the model of family's meal for prisoners have created a positive motivation for reform. And from 2023 to present, the camp has organized more than 3,000 meals for prisoners with a good rehabilitation, and thanks to that, the rate of good rehabilitation in the whole camp has reached over 77%. The unit's prisoner education and rehabilitation activities are regularly innovated and deeply human, which have had a positive effect on prisoners' sense of compliance, creating a prisoner's trust in the party to stay human and the human treatment of criminals, contributing to encouraging and helping them during their sentences over. And the context of the world and the regional situation continuing to develop the complicatedly, ramps are increasingly sophisticated and dangerous. KK prison still faces many difficulties such as lack of equipment, infrastructure, and human resources. However, with a spirit of solidarity and determination, the Department of Police for the management of prisons, compulsory education facilities, and reform school under Ministry of Public Security believes that the unit will continue to strive to overcome difficulties, improve the quality of education, management, and rehabilitation of prisoners, and build a clean and strong team of course. In the coming time, I propose that the leaders of the officials and soldiers of KK prison organize to thoroughly perhaps and strictly implement the party human policies and guidelines, the state laws on the exclusion of prison sentences, focusing on the law on the exclusion of criminal sentences and related documents with the motto that all activities of executing prison sentences but have the highest goal of educating and reforming criminals to become the honest people who are useful to society, combining punishment with the leniency to absolutely protect the security and safety operations in all situations, and with the motto of action being a pioneer, accelerating and breaking through in implementing the party policies and the state laws, building a truly clean, strong, disciplined, allied, and modern People's Public Security Force. KK Operation is designed to excellently complete on the side tasks, contributing to maintaining security, order, and social safety also. And ladies and gentlemen, on the morning of May the 24th, the Director of the Department of Education and Training, Nguyễn Văn Phước, and the Secretary of Hòa City Party Committee, Trần Văn Khải, attended the closing summary of the 2024 and 2025 school year with the teachers and the students of Lý Thường Kiệt High School. Over the past time, with the attention of the local authorities on levels, the teachers and students of Lý Thường Kiệt High School have always tried to achieve many high achievements in comprehensive education, becoming a trust educational advisor. At the end of the school year, the whole school had 93 excellent students and nearly 600 good students. 1% of the grade 12 students were eligible to take the high school graduation exam. In addition, the school achieved the title of Advanced Labor Collective, receiving many certificates of merit from all levels in education and training. At the closing summary, Lý Thường Kiệt High School commended and rewarded groups and individuals with high achievements in teaching, studying, as well as in the school evaluation movements.
Ms. Trần Thị Thanh Hằng, Standing Deputy Secretary of Tân Châu District Party Committee, also attended the year-end ceremony at Tân Hưng High School. In the past school year, Tân Hưng High School had 18 classes with nearly 630 students. Right from the beginning of the school year, the school board of directors has paid attention to and implemented well the innovation of teaching methods towards developing students' capacity, constantly paying attention to and ensuring facilities and teaching equipment. At the end of the school year, the school had over 96% of students with average or above academic performance. At the year-end ceremony, the school board of directors awarded students with excellent and good achievements and those with good or above academic and training achievements.
And continuing to tighten the work of ensuring the food safety, the interdisciplinary inspection team of the Department of Industry and Trade of the Ninh Province has just conducted a surprise inspection at a number of food businesses in Hòa Town. The team certainly inspected the Phương Nguyệt store and Tâm Ngọc store, both located on Huỳnh Thanh Mừng Street of Long Hòa Ward. The team checked factors related to the food safety such as storage conditions, origin of goods, labels, anti-counterfeit stamps, barcodes, expiry dates, etc. And the team also compare invoices, import documents, and actual selling prices with the market level to promptly detect the counterfeit and poor quality goods. The result shows that the establishments comply well with the legal regulations on food business conditions, and there were no signs of trading in fake meal products that had been warned by the authorities. And ladies and gentlemen, the social insurance plays a pivotal role in the social security system and providing income security and the health care for the workers when they encounter the risk in life. In the context of many economic fluctuations, reducing the level of social insurance contributions bring practical benefits to people, contributing to stabilizing the life and promoting the socio-economic development. One of the notable contents of the revised laws on social insurance, which will officially take effect from July the 1st of 2025, is the regulation to shorten the minimum period of social insurance payment from 20 years to 15 years to receive the pensions. If in the past they had to wait for 20 years to receive the pension, now with a shorter period, many people will soon have their access to their social security policy towards a more stable old age life. This is an important benefit, helping the workers to have the health insurance up to 95%, ensuring a more stable life and minimizing the economic risk when they retire. When having pensions and health insurance supported by the state, the workers will feel more secure. Shortening the time to pay social insurance is not only a policy reform but also opens up more opportunities for the millions of workers. This is favorable conditions for the people to participate in the social insurance more, and the mobilization process will be more effective so that those who have the conditions to participate more later have a pension policy to improve their lives. And with the flexible and human policy adjustments along with the active support from the state, it will be a support for millions of freelance workers and thereby contributing to realizing the goal of building a developed society when every citizen has the opportunity to be protected when facing risk and feel secure towards the future. And the Deputy Prime Minister Bùi Thanh Sơn just chaired a meeting with the Ministry of Industry and Trade on the issues of decentralization and delegation of authority in legal documents under the state management tasks of this ministry. The Prime Minister stated that the Ministry of Industry and Trade needs to clearly explain the tasks that the ministry proposes to decentralize and the basis for retaining the tasks at the central level, continue to review and propose additional tasks that need to be decentralized and delegated to localities along with the accompanying the processes and procedures. In addition to decentralization and delegation of authority to localities, the Deputy Prime Minister requested the Ministry of Industry and Trade to propose the contents of decentralization for state-owned enterprises to implement.
Deputy Prime Minister Trần Hồng Hà has just signed official dispatch number 71 dated May 23rd of the Prime Minister on a number of tasks to promote sustainable durian production and export. Recently, Vietnam's durian export has encountered many difficulties at some points of fighting the export scale, ethic value and profits of procedures and exporters. Faced with the above situation, the Prime Minister requested the Minister of Agriculture and Environment to focus on directing durian production according to the project on developing key routes until 2025 and 2030, ensuring supply and demand, meeting the standards of domestic and export markets, actually negotiate to open other markets for durian products.
And according to the forecast, in the coming days, Hà Tĩnh province will have the heavy rains and thunderstorm also, and therefore, taking advantage of the sunny weather, the farmers in Hà Tĩnh province are focusing on harvesting the spring dry to limit the damage caused by natural disasters. Taking advantage of the sunny weather, Mr. Lê Văn Truyền family urgently rented a machine to harvest rye. And with the 5 hours surprise, it is estimated that the machine will harvest in about one section. The spring rye harvest is also being urgently implemented by the people in Hà Tĩnh according to the motto, greener at home than out in the field, to avoid the breaking and falling when there is rain and storms. This season is often affected by the unusual storms and whirlwinds. When the rye is ripe, 80 to 90% of the people harvest together and race into harvest to bring the rice home for storage, greener at home than out in the field. And according to the people, if the rain and wind continue for a long time, the rice will fall and break, and the fallen rice area is susceptible for sprouting, affecting the productivity, the quality and price also. And therefore, the rice farmers have urgently hired harvesters to harvest in this time. In addition to harvesters in the province, many harvesters in the neighboring provinces have also been mobilized to serve the spring rye harvest in Hà Tĩnh province. Paying attention to regulating the machine system suitable for its operation, regularly inform about the weather conditions so that the people can proactively prep and harvest in time. In addition, motivate the harvesters day and night. Take advantage of favorable conditions for quick harvest. In addition, proactively prepare well for the summer-autumn crop. This year, Hà Tĩnh province has more than 59,000 hectares of spring rice. Hà Tĩnh authorities assess that the rice crop in the whole province this year was a good crop with a yield of nearly 61.75 quintals per hectare and 0.58 quintals per hectare than the 2024 spring crop. The selling price is currently at the average of 6,000 to 6,900 Vietnam dong per kilogram. Along with avoiding unfavorable weather, focusing on harvesting spring rice also helps Hà Tĩnh farmers to properly implement the summer-autumn rice planting schedule. And that's all for today, TTV News. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye for now.